Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. Let's go, don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the wrong. We know that will come. We're out up till dawn, but how can I hide it without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going around like monsters. Playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence without an alibi. I wanna heal your sorrow. Just talk to me. We'll make a new tomorrow. Talk to me. We'll make this happen. was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. I was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Moving on, moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. Eh. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. Eh. You see.
while we get that figured out. Okay, I think we're all good to go. All right, yeah, back good. Okay, great. So, let's see. Karma first pick. Pretty good character. Ashe and Belveth, surprisingly for RDG, and we've got a Varus, and another pick coming up for TPS. What do you make of this Belveth here? I think that's pretty interesting. Don't usually see that.
Yeah, from what I've seen previously from RDG, they do play Nico a lot in the jungle alongside the Maokai, and they do like to play the Viego. So aggressive junglers aren't out of the pool here for Michelle. It is something he does like to play. As a Viego especially always stands out to me as that kind of Belveth Viego, or kind of similar in their styles, that they want to go in and get that damage done nice and early. So I don't mind to pick up the Nico, something I've seen before. Quite happy with that, and the Ashe. So everything from RDG, I've seen it before. I know they can do well on it. The Belveth, it's very same stylistically, but I'm much happier coming in from TPS that they have the Karma, they have the Varus, and they have the lights off. Turn the lights off, you can do so much work, especially onto the likes of Ashe, because you need a clear shot to get that Crystal Arrow across. But Wei, Seraphine, Gwen, and I'm guessing maybe another topside ban coming through, and it will be a Fiora from Flame. Flame historically is one of those players, and I'm not going to lie, he's like the LEC Adam. He just plays Darius, he plays Olaf, he just wants to be in your face and hurt you constantly. So Flame, all eyes always on you, and what I want to see from RDG is if Flame gets ahead, you're winning the game, and that's just it.
All right, well, there it is. We got a topside win condition potentially coming up. Yeah, the strong side laners banned out, and it looks like it is going to be Cassante. They could do something tricky like throw up mid with a Nico support, but I think it's probably more likely that it's in the top lane, huh?
Yeah, more than likely. I gave him so much praise on what he plays, and I want to see some of that God's kind of style, but Cassante is still broken, still strong, and it's also getting a buff that they said was a nerf. It's not. So I don't know what Riot was thinking with that one. We need to see some of them change eventually, but right now it is still very, very strong. But Azir, always seeing Azir in this meta, and without the Corki to follow it up, unless they push Nico to support, which they have done previously. Corki is in their pool here, but it will be the Braum coming through, so it will be Nico mid, and I like the Ashe and the Braum combo coming in from RDG. I've seen it before. It's something that they play quite well. They know how to control lanes with it and really put the hurt down, but it can be kind of abused in those earlier stages, especially by a Karma.
Yeah, 100%. I think they're picking it specifically for, the Ornn interaction there, but all I see is a pretty hard losing lane there with the double range into the melee, so I think it might be tough. If the bot lane of RDG can get through this, they could have a big impact this game, but they do have to, get through the laning phase, so we'll see how that happens. Let's go ahead and go and get on the Rift here, get this game underway. I think we should have no spectator delay. And now that draft is concluded, we'd like to take a second to tell you about our sponsor today. Quick shout out to ProComp's game changer app for the league community. It's a personal draft coach for teams and solo players, and you can use it with all sorts of third-party apps as well. It has features like custom champion pools, personalized tier lists, and live draft advice. It can help you on the fly craft your compositions, maximize your chance of winning. They have 200,000 downloads already, thousands of users, and it's totally free as well. Go check it out at procomps.gg and up your drafting ability. Now we're on the Rift. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Looks like it's pretty standard. 5-point fan. We got a Braum, a little bit late. That's okay. Put the ward.
That's a nice little pickup, though. If Michelle does have to force a flash here, that could be very, very disastrous to start, but no, will be able to just walk away from that one. Won't get the ward in time, though, so they will get spotted out if they do stay around that. They're going to recall and be a little bit cheeky with it, as Jolt is going to step up, but won't be able to stop that recall. But I like the idea from TPS to go early. RDG might have some severe flashbacks of us with our level ones, where we managed to get a kill or two, and our Kalista managed to snowball a game just from that. So maybe a flashback coming through, but look, all eyes this game. I think it does kind of come down to junglers here, because Iconic wants to get to that 6, wants to wait around and get that perfect engage, while on the other side, Belveth, aggressive early is the style, and it looks like it's going to be a Raptor start, but Flame stayed to get the XP maybe from the ward take.
He didn't even auto it though, so I'm not sure exactly. Maybe he's just staying to defend in case they're worried about some kind of invade, but it's not going to be happening, as Iconic starting on the bot side, pathing their way eventually towards top, probably going to be doing that full clear.
Yeah, I think I'm really, really worried to see how this bot lane's going to do. Obviously, with Influence not being in this one and the swap coming through, and I'd like to see how they do with this different style bot lane. But Knight right now is playing that Nico. I expect to see a lot of damage come out from Nico in the Azir lane. I know Corki is historically the pick into it, but I just think Nico's just such a strong pick right now, and the ability to hide in waves and move around the map. And if you change into a minion, you walk over wards, it won't spot you, which is
Yeah.
very, very important.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Knight decides to pilot this pick. If they're going to get active on the map, try to take push away from the Azir and maybe go gank bot or something like that. Could be really fun. I know there's a lot of expression for Nico players, and they all have their own kind of unique way of playing. I think it's really cool about the champion. I really am a big fan.
I I I I kind of agree with you, but it's like I'm an ADC player historically, and it's really, really annoying when Nico just sneaks into your lane and you just get absolutely murked by it. But here we saw with this the
Yeah.
first gank, and it's very easy from here.
Yeah, it's a stun onto Storm, slowed down all the way. Masho just got to get in here for this little bit of damage. Can tickle him for the assist. Gives it over to the Ash. It's first blood over to Rubber Duck Gaming. Nice and easy, just like that.
Yeah, and Iconic's in this top side, and Flame playing with fire and using that health as a resource will get that ward down, will find the Nocturne and keep himself safe. But look how aggressive he's still playing in the lane. He knows that they cannot win that 1v2. Flame is playing with fire up there, and he's loving it.
Yeah, he uses the ghost, but still definitely riding high on that one. I love the wordplay. Now we've got Iconic took a break from his full clear to attempt a play on the top side. It's going to slow him down quite a bit here. He did his wolves, so his camps are going to be a little bit desynced along the top side. Makes it a little bit harder for him to just chain full clears and reach that level 6 like he wants to. Masho going to take that bot lane scuttle crab and channel base to get some more tempo, get that buy-in, and be even stronger on the map now.
Yeah, we do see the waves evening out on the bot side, and we will see a kind of a CS advantage come through for the Varus, but Flame going aggressive here. The flash coming out from Jolts as well, and we played this matchup already. We played the Cassante into Ornn, and my top laner was constantly screaming that Cassante's unstoppable is better than Ornn's unstoppable because he's unstoppable during your unstoppable. It works for him better. So there's definitely some release date kind of updates there that we need to talk about, because unstoppable versus unstoppable, but one's better. There's a conundrum in the top side, but Cassante obviously is newer, so he has to win those. It's just a release date diff, you know?
Oh god, I'm terrified now thinking about what Ornn would look like if he was released this year or something. He might have like special items only he could buy only in lane 2 or something like that. I don't know. That would be a disaster, but yeah,
Cassante. What would happen if Riven was released now? It would be unstoppable on E.
It would be Cassante. It's like the same character. They got 3 Qs. Like Yasuo too, right?
Well, without the tanks, that's just more damage, more executions, more screaming top laners that their lane is unbalanced and they just want to play Trundle into everything.
Some people just
awful one.
And those people should play AD carry, right?
Yeah, just get out of top lane. Just play ADC's top instead and get rid of the supports. It's always the support's fault, right?
Of course.
Let's see how this one goes, because it's still heavy in that top side in terms of trading, but Cassante is edging out a slight lead. Obviously, burning that flash in the 1v1 is important, but Bel'Veth heading towards those Void Grubs. We should see a Drake trade, but will Nocturne go for the mid gank instead?
I'm not sure if Iconic actually knows that Masho is on these grubs here. Probably can make the safe assumption, but I'm not sure if they had that worded out. Looks like he's going to start up the dragon now. See if they can do anything about that. That's the second grub down. Oh no, that's the third one. So they got the notification, the global notification. Iconic knows that he's probably safe to take this dragon here. And regardless, RDG's bot lane is playing pretty far up, so gotta watch out for the play after that.
They do, and it still does show up when one of the grublings gets taken. If you just press tab, you'll actually see one show up regardless of vision, as long as you've walked past it at least once.
Right.
It's still a bug. It's still there. I think Riot might just be leaving it at this stage because they'll have to code or something, and they don't have to do that yet. But here comes the fight.
He catches Iconic at this dragon. Iconic just at a few hundred HP, has to flash over the wall there. Does confirm the dragon kill, though, so only at the cost of his own flash. And Knight used his ultimate to make that happen, but I like the response. I like Knight using his priority.
I like the use of priority. I don't like the use of the ults is the only thing. I feel like it might be a little bit overzealous to try and get the kill there. I don't think there's a world where Nocturne doesn't get over that wall, right?
Right, yeah. Especially with the spell shield, right?
It's a very, very easy one. I guess you do burn the flash, and that's kind of handy. But it will leave it up to see how useful that flash will be. If they manage to get a kill onto the Nocturne within the next couple of minutes, then it's worth. But that's 3D chess we're talking about here. Let's just go back to checkers and keep it simple.
Absolutely. Yeah, speaking of keeping it simple, I think there might be a potential fight over the Scuttle Crab on the top side. We see quite a few people moving towards that, so I want to know what happens there if Iconic chooses to go for it. I think he's just going to keep full clearing. Both solo lanes from RDG showing up to help make sure that this river is controlled as Masho starts to float over there. Really nice team play.
Yeah, it's something that I never get to see in solo queue. And if I ever play jungle, it's just they just seem to run away when I'm walking towards an objective. But they are moving around the map well. They're playing as a team, even though we haven't seen a lot of action. They're constantly helping cover for one another, which is great to see, and something that I will always give credit to RDG for, regardless of how badly they beat us in our Aegis games. But they're doing really well. And on the other side, TPS, I don't think this is a bad game state for them either, as they want to get to those later stages. They have the Oran scaling, they have that late game Azir insurance policy, and Nocturne to turn off the lights. There's a lot more they can do, but Michaud.
Flame knocks him way over the wall here. Jolt trying to walk this one out, but they cannot make it very far. Masho, he's waiting for the alley-oop from the Cassante, and there it is. A stun on the bot side too on a Storm. Puts a lot of damage. Not quite a kill going over, but second kill on the board for RDG so far.
And this was something that I was talking about previously, is that Flame can be a catalyst for you to win, and it was set up almost perfectly there. Jolt's never had the opportunity to stay there because just over the wall, why is there a Belveth on me? What has happened? It's Cassante things, and look at the wave. He's also losing in that top side as well. Nocturne does manage to pick it up, so at least Iconic gets it. But at the end of the day, it's a lot lost in that top side, regardless of Flame not getting the kill. It's the XP, and more importantly, the gold will slowly creep up on you in that top side.
Yeah, that's the 11 CS gold lead starting to come out there. Pretty similar gold lead in the bot side as well, but in favor of TPS this time. That's going to be the power of the double range lane. So, kind of interesting map state, leading the top side for one team, leading the bot lane for the other. Going to see how they play around these win conditions, play around these dragon fights, see if we can maybe get Flame to walk down if he's ever got the priority there. Could be a great way to get his lead involved in the team play here, so like to see that maybe.
Yeah, and Iconic is hovering around those grubs. He's trying to stay around to try to get pressure around that area because he knows that this objective could mean the difference between them winning and losing, with Flame being so good in a side lane, and already with Joel's kind of losing the overall pressure in the top. If they let the Cassante play top and play that split push constantly, could be very, very dangerous for them. But right now, it is a catch.
Oh, that's a lot of CC straight onto the Azir. Bongo on 1 HP. They flashed away. Oh, RDG cannot confirm the kill, and instead Knight goes down for that as Storm has roamed out from the bot side. The Q will not hit. Masho is able to float away, but what a reversal from TPS, putting themselves on the board.
Yeah, absolutely exceptional play there. It was the finest of margins, but they managed to get it, and now a lot of it will come down to whether Flame wants to try and help contest this one. The Azir is recalling. Michelle wants to take this fight. This is dangerous.
Yeah, luckily they don't have a mid laner there, so TPS starting to back off. Azir, yeah, no TP, so it's 2v3, and yet they still conceded. TPS full giving the grubs over to RDG. They do not want to mess with Flame and Masho, how powerful those two are. They'll instead just give over 5 grubs. They were content with denying the 6th.
Yeah, and they still get the updated one where they get the little bonus grublings come out whenever you hit a tower, which is great for them. It's just, that's got to feel bad if you're TPS right now, because you've went in, you've won the fight mid, you managed to scrape out of it, but you still lose the objective, you still lose the priority over those grublings, and they still get 5, and that's not a good feeling.
Absolutely not, yeah. I would definitely rather have grubs than not have them, so 100%. If I'm TPS, I would want those grubs. Those grubs should be mine, but RDG, yeah, good show of force there. Now, Masho could be one objective after another. The dragon has spawned up, and we've got big priority coming up for RDG on the bot side. They could probably just start that one up as soon as they get there. Seems like it'll be pretty easy, and Iconic, no ultimate available quite yet, so a little bit harder to contest this one.
Yeah, they do have vision and they do have timing that the ult might be up just in time, but I don't think it will. And will they try and stop? No, they won't be able to get there in time. There's nothing they can do. And they even up the Drakes. They've gotten 5 grubs. So right now they're in a great position. They can hold out. They can pick the perfect play, but Flame.
Yes, and he's all out and forces the flash away from Jolts. Be feeling pretty sad about that one, but you know, Cassandra's very strong at this point. Gotta use your resources to stay alive.
Yeah, Joel's very smartly flashes early, goes back, actually finishes off his Sunfire and says, nope, you're not getting me today. That will keep him in the lane for a little bit longer. He will be able to get that reset off in time. I think the issue is now is that Flame has a much easier time deciding just to walk to lane. He can give up CS, he can give up some time. On the other side, Jolt might want to go for something because he wants to play around the rest of the map right now because he won't be able to win that 1v1. So they see Michaud here on a ward. They know the pings are coming down. They know something's going on. So do they want to go for this? They will get spotted out. Jolt won't actually see them. And look, it's a dangerous one and they're playing with fire, but it's working out for them. RDG managed to circumvent it, but I really thought Jolts had something there if he had just completed the roam.
Yeah, that could have been pretty good. Knight still no flash, so Ornhorn probably could have put a significant dent into the state of that lane. Iconic also recalling without using the ult. He has the experimental hex plate, of course. Knight just walks past the bush. They don't want to mess with each other, so Iconic's probably just letting his team know that Nico's arriving in the bot side river.
Power of Darkness versus a Lizard Lady. The Power of Darkness should win those, right?
You would think so. You would think so, but I don't know. I don't really know at this point. Lizard Lady's got a pretty good ultimate. They both got pretty good ultimates.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one to call, but we do see that experimental hex play coming out from Nocturne now. So finally hit that spike. Finally has that that big kind of ult juice that will come through. So I'm hoping to see a good play come out now because this is where Iconic kind of comes online. On the other side, though, Michaud has completed the crack and should be able to shred through some of these tankier targets. Will they be able to sneak into this without getting spotted, though, is the most important thing. And right now, they're in a good position, but they're going to take that Scuttle Crab. They're going to look towards Rift Herald maybe next. And Iconic, this is the fight you need to take.
Yeah, this could be their big chance to start really turning things around. Rift Herald is started up by Masho. We got the 3 members of TPS hovering around here, trying to find their way into the fight. A little bit of damage onto Knight so far. There's the Pop Blossom getting channeled, pushed away. Knight goes, but there's the knockups. Obongo dropping super low, and Knight's able to clean up the kill right there. Iconic trying to trade him back. Triple knockup from Jolts, but it will not do enough. It's a double kill for the Nico from the mid lane, and that means a Rift Herald's probably going over as well in that amazing fight for RDG.
Yeah, the lights might have went out, but Nico's the one that said good night, and they easily picked those 2 up. But they are going to continue to contest here with Storm now available. But I don't think you can take this fight anymore. It's still a 3 versus 2, and regardless of the pressure, Michaud should have this for free. Flame stepping up, very comfortable. Cassante does not care for your poke right now, Karma. You need to back off.
He is just Chad walking at them, absolutely unstoppable. Walks straight up to him and scares him away with his mere stature. So Flame doing a lot of work, zoning the other members of TPS away so that RDG can fully secure this Herald. And that's pretty much 3 neutral objectives in a row, all in RDG's favor. They are in a great spot so far this game.
Yeah, I can almost hear the Brazilian funk music when Cassandra starts walking towards me when I don't have the damage, and I know I don't, and he knows it too. He's just going to keep walking at me, and it's terrifying. But let's have a look over the rest of this. As bot lane still pretty even overall, maybe 100 gold either end. They're both in good positions. Top is probably the biggest standing point because, yes, Cassante is so far ahead, but Ornn's deficit in gold is then picked up by Ornn items once those levels start coming through. So it's still not terrible for either team. I still think it's a very even game, regardless of that 3k goal lead. I still think both teams are in this to play, and it all comes down to when they have a proper big team fight, because Jolts' knockups are there. They just need the damage to follow it.
Right, yeah. In the 5v5, they still stand a great chance, but look at this stun on a Storm. Flashes away from the knockup, and must get on in here. Paranoia onto the Belveth, gets knocked up. Disengaging is RDG, but there's a Pop Blossom, gonna catch at least 2. Jolts has teleported down, but here comes Flame as well. Trying to get into this fight, trying to slow down Glory. Belveth picks up the double kill. Flames under this turret, attacking the bot lane from TPS. great responses from RDG. They're going to be able to take home a few kills, set their sights on the dragon. Now that that's spawning up, still 5 members strong versus the 3 on TPS. Flame, yeah, he's in the backside. They don't see him. He still has ultimate as well. It's going to be disastrous. He's going to try to knock around the support. Storm will stun him up, takes the kill as well. Very, very powerful Cassante running around, and the dragon summarily goes down as well. RDG handily winning that one.
Yeah, such a great setup there for the fight from both sides. TPS got a great TP into the back. Joseph's in a great position. But as soon as Nico came in, it was just done. They just had everything they needed to get that fight off to the right. That Pop Blossom comes through. They get that first kill. Michaud transforms into Space Dorito. And it's just done. There's nothing you can do. And it's just too much damage coming out from that jungler right now. And Michaud is just taking over this game with the Spellvet.
100%, yeah. Only going to get harder. Infinitely scaling champion, by the way. So, there's a knockup on a Storm. The stun comes through as well. Another set of Coral for Macho to pick up right there. Gets to finally recall and spend some money. That's probably going to be a big purchase. So, going to be feeling good about that one. Yeah, 2K in the pockets. Very nice.
Yeah, that was a Hillsang moment. We're not going to lie. Just walking into a bush, having the wards available and just not dropping it. That one's going to feel bad, and you're going to be kicking yourself in the VOD reviews after, going, that should not have been a death by me. That was a mistake. There are little things that do build up, and you do have to be worried, especially when you're keeping Bel'Veth in that Space Dorito form. As long as they have that, they are so much stronger than anything else on Rift. It's so much raw stats, and you have to constantly be wary of when Bel'Veth's getting into that, because it can make the difference. But Obongo right now, starting to get up on those items. The Haunting Eyes is out, but
on this bot side, it's a Paranoia onto the bot lane for RDG. Flash away. Ravon trying to survive, trying to live this one out. Bullet will be taking a lot of damage as well. Stuck truly in the middle of 4 people. Buys the time for Ravon to get out. 4-man T-play in the bot side earns them a few kills. Like to see that, but the response in the mid lane is this double Herald charge. Knight slams it into tier 2 here. I don't think they're going to be able to take it down in time to save Shelly, but that's a lot of grubblings sprinting straight at that other turret. They don't even reach it. Oh well.
they have the Grublings and the Voidlings. It's just a battle of critters. They just need a Malzahar in there, and they've just won the game just through pets alone. But Obongo did go down there, gives up 2 towers. They get another tower in the top side. They did get something bot side, but it just wasn't enough, and it just feels like RDG have just choked them out slowly and knew when to pull the trigger in all the other lanes. As soon as TPS saw a moment, RDG saw 2.
Yeah, I mean, TPS, I feel like it was mostly out of desperation. They're trying to do something proactive to try to close this gap that they're experiencing, this gold gap, but enormous response, right? You use the Herald extremely well, get that other turret. It's a massive gold lead. I think it's widened even further now, about 6K here. Starting to look pretty scary, even if you do have some extra gold value from the Ornn items coming in soon.
Yeah, the Ornn items, I don't think it'll be enough to get them back into this one. That gold lead is slowly building up now, 36 to 30k, and it's nearly an item for at least one of the carries to go stronger, especially Michaud. Still in that Space Dorito form, going to be very comfortable in all of these fights. You can see the vision isn't great for either side. They aren't really prioritizing clearing and taking the areas of warding, but you have an Ash Arrow. That works too, I suppose. You can always use that from Revan. That's great ability to spot things, but I would like to see deeper wards come in from RDG, because they control nearly every single corner of the map, as long as they have those wards down, and that's where they get stronger.
Yeah, that's really the best way to close out these kinds of games. But Glory, great cleanse, walking away from that enchanted crystal arrow. He's fine. But yeah, like we were saying before, best way to close out these games is take advantage of your strength, right? You establish the vision, make the enemy team face check into you. Totally agree with you there. I think some more aggressive vision would really start cinching this one out for RDG. But they've got Baron to do just about the same thing, so they're going to be able to take this one uncontested. It could be pretty good. We have TPS walking up through the bot side. Storm will arrive first. Iconic now has some vision on the members attacking the Baron. Knight's doing a great job zoning them away. So does Flame as he's starting to charge in there. He's ghosted up. He's fast all out. Pop Blossom catches just Storm. Glory's taking a lot of damage from the Cassante going over the wall. Cassante's chasing them all the way down. And Bel'Veth now slamming down on top of 2. Iconic trying to get out of there. Survives the Braum stun. Doesn't get stunned up. Zero turret established as well. It was the bot lane only that went down from TPS, but RDG, they're freshly baroned up. They have a ton of little minions just like before, and they are going to start knocking on this base.
Yeah, and Flame obviously doesn't think they can end because he's decided to TP to the top lane, so they're still playing it correctly. They're not over forcing, they're not really trying to end the game just off one play. They'll play it correctly, they'll jump back, they'll reset, they'll go again. And we just saw the presence from the Cassante there as well, walking towards 4 members and just being like, fight me, go on, I dare you. And it just works every single time, just always locking Cassante top. But look, it's a great game coming in from RDG from game 2. TPS, they never really hit the ground running here. They never really got the advantages they needed, while RDG waited and knew when to pull that trigger, knew when to get into the right positions. They knew what to give up and what not to give up and when they could fight, and that was just the difference maker here. And I want to see more from them in terms of early aggression, and we might see a different game 2, but right now game 1 is looking very, very rough.
Yeah, totally agree here. It seems like whenever TPS tried to do anything proactive, they just got kind of stamped out at every turn. It's one of those disheartening type of games. We have Paranoia onto Flame here, though. He is in the middle of 4 people. Can he 1v4? He's got ult in just a second here, so maybe he can make it back with the wall, but dropping pretty low, goes unstoppable, and he will get taken down by all 5 members of TPS here. That's what it takes to kill the Giants from the top lane. All the while, RDG has amassed their forces in the bot lane. They will start taking down the remaining structures on the map, even if they are on the other side.
It's literally just a red wave running towards your towers. What can you actually do? And we see Bullet even jumping forward there. Needs to get that shield up, but here comes the fight.
Full, hits 3, sets up for the Ornhorn. Pop Blast are going to be hitting 3 as well. Make it 4, actually. It's enormous for Knight, as RDG is perfectly set up to clean house here and take TPS all the way down. What a slobber knocker of a fight right there for Knight, able to perfectly set that one up. Structures are going down is just a formality at this point. RDG have fully and wholly claimed victory in game 1.
Yeah, there was just not much. There was not much fight left in that one, to be honest. It just all kind of fell apart. And regardless of how the game looked overall, I think RDG just looked phenomenal from start to finish. They just took every opportunity perfectly, regardless of the small falters they may have had in some of the deaths, and maybe just a little bit of an overstay in some of them. They still managed to just completely and utterly shut them down at every one. And Flame in that top side started that snowball with that one ult over the wall to get Michaud online, which led to more grubs, and they just kept that ball rolling constantly. And none of the other lanes made a big enough mistake for it to be a win condition for them. So what do we need to change here?
What do we need to change? Indeed. I'm going to go ahead and dwell on that. I think we're going to head over to a short break, see what actually does end up being changed in the next draft. Don't go anywhere, dear viewers. We'll be right back.
For myself. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my hands without an alibi. Showing off, don't wanna have to wait tonight. Wait tonight. Better off, I'm gonna find my way tonight. Wait tonight. Won't you talk to me? I wanna heal your sorrow. Won't you talk to me? We'll make a new tomorrow. Won't you talk to me? Showing off, don't wanna have to wait tonight. Wait tonight. Better off, I'm gonna find my way tonight. Wait tonight. Won't you talk to me? I wanna heal your sorrow. Won't you talk to me? We'll make a new tomorrow. Won't you talk to me? was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. I was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Moving on, moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. Eh. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. Eh. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The
A pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights.
All right, and we are back with some more Vanquisher League action here with Game 2 between Primordial Spire and Rubber Ducky Gaming. Once again, I'm Ultravox here with Satyr. We're jumping into this Game 2 draft after a very convincing victory from Rubber Ducky Gaming.
Yeah, and it looks like they're staying on the same side, so they will be sticking with the bans more than likely here as well, which I do enjoy. That new bot lane coming in looks very, very comfortable. I have to say, from RDG, they don't look like they're not practiced with the team, which is always good to see, that you're not just scrimming with your usual 5, that you're also pulling them in and making sure they're prepared. But that Belvet ban, I like that coming out. They don't want to see that again. And they're not going to try and go for the Maokai themselves, which I kind of enjoy. They don't really need to change too many things, but as a coach, even if you win, sometimes you just need to change it up a little bit and try keep them on their toes. But let's see here. I kind of want to see that karma taken away, regardless of how the game went. I'd like to see the karma taken away.
Gonna be the Udyr instead, so Karma's still available. Probably first pickable again. Yeah, I thought it did good. It did well in lane. I don't think Karma was particularly the issue in Primordial Spire's loss, but Seraphine will be the first pick here, so it can be flexed in 3 different lanes. A lot of options with that pick.
Yeah, I like the pick. They're also going to take away the Varus to get rid of the Seraphine Varus combo. If you send in the Chains of Corruption, you follow it up with, I'm guessing, musical notes. Like, Seraphine still doesn't make sense to me that you can sing and stun people. Like, that's just like, I've been to some bad concerts in my day. No one's ever stunned me with a song, but the karma coming through, very, very strong. Jin's out. Romeo would be so happy. I'm going to say it's a very good pick in this scenario because already have the poke coming from RDG. They have the setup. Jin Zhao says press R, say no, and he'll be fine. You might get some Brazilian functions out, but Hui coming through. That's a great little pick.
Yeah, so we have some huge team fight potential from TPS so far. Shoot that Hui ult in there, have Jin Zhao dive right on top, cover them all with the Seraphine shielding. Pretty formidable 3-stack right there. I really like what they've got going on when it comes to the 5v5s. RDG, they're going to pick Echo for their R3. Probably going in the jungle here, but could be a Hui counter pick as well. Pretty weak early laner. Potentially could try to put him in the dirt with that.
I'm liking the Echo. I haven't seen Echo in competitive in so long. I'm trying to remember the last time I seen it. And it had to be like
out of the
tank
for a
Echo,
while.
right?
In Pro, probably. I mean, I can't even remember the last time Echo was relevant, but he's always been a pretty relevant pick.
Jensen, though, right? Jensen's Echo.
Jensen's Echo.
When he didn't get the ult off in time, he died in 0.2 seconds. And they lost the finals against TSM because of it, and he had the shaky hand after, like he knew he messed up. And it was one of those moments where it's just like he got flamed on Twitter, and everyone was just like he had no choice there. But that was like the moment where everyone's like, Bjergsen's just better. It's just like, well, Bjergsen retired, so Jensen's still there. Just saying.
There it is, yeah.
EU Pride, both of your best mid laners in the history of NA are Jensen and Bjergsen, and they're both EU. I'm just saying.
Well, hey, Jojo's on the rise. Jojo could do it.
He is. I will give you Jojo. He's very, very good. But we do have Viego coming through as well. I really like Viego for RDG. I've seen it before. Very strong. Oh, Neela.
Yeah.
Do you say Neela or Nyla?
It's supposed to be Neela.
Okay, it's Nyla then from now on.
Okay. I don't know. You might get canceled on Twitter. Watch out, man.
Yeah, we'll see. But Jax as well. TPS are playing for themselves here a little bit, going for that pick, right?
Yeah, I like this. Way stronger side laner than Ornn. So if Jolts was feeling not so confident, could be good. But then we see the Darius pick, and you're talking before in the last draft about how Flame is this godlike gods player. Well, there it is.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing him on this. I absolutely love the way Flame plays, and as much as I love my top laner HP, the Darius just took over. It just did, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it again. I'm not sure Jolts is on the same level as my top laner, so I might see it at a higher level. That's a lot of praise for HP, my one, but Jolts didn't seem to have control in that lane at any point against the Cassante. And then you're picking a matchup where you need to get to that Sheen, you need to get to that second item, especially on Jax, and you're going against that Darius, that one kill destroys that lane, especially if you're going Ghost Ignite, something along those lines. It's going to be very difficult for them here.
100%. I think that no matter what, it's going to be a spicy one. Really excited to get on in here. So let's head over to the Rift and see how teams are going to play this one out. Oh, sorry, we got 30 seconds left on that, so a little bit longer for a spectator delay. Yeah, no, so top lane's going to be volatile. Neela, she always makes bot lane volatile. She can go forward. She, shares the shielding, whole bunch of sustaining fighting power down there. Can probably put up a really great fight versus Karma, despite how strong Karma is right now. So I think going straight in, looking for some aggressive fights, could make bot lane a lot more fun to watch too. I think it's gonna be a good game so far.
I'm looking at the bot lane. I'm thinking, does the level advantage give TPS enough bot lane prio for Iconic to get a good gank off at that level 6 point? Because Neela and Seraphine can lock down that bot lane. There isn't enough dashes available to them to escape that one. If they power level and stay even, get that level 6, Seraphine with his Jin Zhao can chase both of them down. So is it a case of waiting for that kind of level economy to come in to make a play? Because if they wait too long, I think Michelle will just take over the game in those other lanes on this Viego.
Yeah, I don't know. Level 6 is a great place to gank for bot lane. Could see that happening. But now we're finally ready. Sorry about that before false start. Let's go ahead and get over to Summoner's Rift. Here we are once again. TPS on the blue, RDG taking it back up on the red. Everybody's going to start getting going. So, yeah, if you think bot lane's a great spot for a level 6 play, then any predictions on where the junglers are going to start then?
I think it'll actually look like it's going to be an invade coming through from the side of RDG here. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do with this one as they are going for it. Michelle will spot out Iconic. Will they go for the same play as last time? I think they're trying to read a step ahead onto the side of TPS here. Will they be able to get enough from this? I don't think they're going to step up this time around. I think they've read it well. They're reading each other quite well to start it off, and I like the idea that they are changing things already, TPS, because I want to see them fight. I want to see a game 3 regardless of it being 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, everybody wants to see these close series, close games, even if it means you sacrifice a little bit more sleep. So hang in there, okay?
What Echo skin is that?
Which Echo skin? Can we see Echo Spectator? Let's see, where's the at?
Mr. Producer, head over to the Echo, please.
Wait, we saw him fist bumping. They're actually fist bumping. That's crazy. Yeah, that's True Damage Echo. I think it's just got a chroma on it. I love that skin so much. It's got its own soundtrack.
A really
when you play
good
it.
chroma. I'm really happy with that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's got that nice fiery orange. Oh man, it's clean. Too bad the particle effects are still purple, but I guess orange and purple.
You're going to see a support echo coming through real quick. Oh, early trade already, but actually going in the favor of Jolt. So Flame starts with that Q, doesn't go for that W slow, which the auto attack reset is always really great, but with that stun, you got to be careful.
Yeah, I think starting Q there lets him get a little bit more damage even through the counter strike. So looking pretty good. A few more auto attacks puts Flame just slightly ahead in that lane. The Q allows for more wave clear as well, so you got to watch out for this level 2 spike that's going to be coming in just a second here. There it is, level 2. Was he going to do anything with it? I don't think so, but has the ghost available, and with Jolts not taking the ghost, always in danger of getting run down.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of danger there, but looking like bot lane's in a good position already for the side of RDG. Knight already getting that damage down onto Huawei. The kind of response time for Huawei is a little bit slower than you would see from, I guess the closest you'll see to the likes of him is maybe a Brand alongside what you want to do in terms of poke with the kind of pillar that comes through. That's usually the poke you see back, so it's an interesting one. But an early gank from Iconic, that could be a difference maker, but Michelle is just hiding just behind the Raptors, so it might be a good response time.
Yeah, he's walking over to do his red. Iconic stuck around for a little while, but ultimately no play thanks to that good heads up ward right there. All bot side camps going to be taken for Iconic, so he's got no choice but to head up. Jolts has the Counter-Strike active. Flame, it's a very close fight. Flash away, flash in the bush. The healing doesn't come through in his first blood, going over to Jolts' Jax, able to take down the fearsome Darius that we hyped up in the champ select.
Yeah, brilliantly played there by Jolson. Not at all what I expected to come true. I had so much praise to sing for Flame, but the first blood does go over to Jols. Also, the wave, he might be able to even crash this one in without that TP available, so that's really, really big here for the Jax. But you forgot about Michaud.
Yeah, oh, he's walking straight up to the river. Flash and a stun. Jolts will hop away, but he's slowed down by the red buff. One more auto, one more Q. Michaud is able to clean that one up, and he hands his top laner a freeze. I am absolutely buying my jungler a drink after that one.
Yeah, 100%. That is perfect for them to go through onto that one. That's everything Flame needed after that. Slight misstep in the top side, but Flame comes back brighter than ever. And that will definitely put the lane nearly back in his favor, regardless of that Fam Scepter coming through. But Iconic wants to respond to this, but gets spotted out on the wards of Flame, just knows this is coming. And if there's one thing I've learned after my many years of League of Legends, you don't dive at Darius.
Yeah, I think dive here is really risky. I mean, it is an option, but he's starting to clear that wave out. Without that wave fully crashing, it's impossible to dive. So I think Iconic standing on that ward, he's just going to have to go back. He's kind of been stuffed out of all of his opportunities. He's behind in camps as well. He got the Scuttle Crab. Masho prowling around this bot side. He's got the control ward right there. Scouts out some Vision and Night. Mid lane trading pretty heavily. Michaud's able to just roll up here, get the stun onto the way, has to flash away from the parallel convergence. Obongo will go down, but he takes Knight with him as well. Great trade back there for the Hui.
Yeah, very, very fine margins there. And the last time we saw that happen, Obongo actually won it, if we remember correctly, on the Azir. Managed to squeak out, and that was so close to being perfect there in terms of CC chaining with the bubble from Echo into the stun from Viego. Very, very close to being perfect, but not quite. Does make the difference, does manage to get the trade back, and Hui still in this game. Very, very close, and Flame starting to get comfortable in that top side, starting to get a little bit more poke down onto Jolts, and as you see those basketballs spinning, you know you're in trouble. That bleed is hefty at this early stage.
Yeah, the Fam Scepter doing a little bit for Jolts, but I mean, Darius, Flame's got this 10 CS lead right now. Going to be a lot harder here, especially when the ultimates are unlocked. Iconic is rolling up, so will this finally be the dive? Masho saw the grubs get taken, and so now it's time for the dragon. That's just, you know, stock standard. That's a book play right there. Iconic's just waiting. Go on the Flame. He's all alone though. The healing is right there. Flame pulls him back in. Has to flash away. Iconic exiting this play. Jolts is level 6 though. Forces Flame away from this turret. At the very least, Flame loses that whole wave, and it will be a little bit tougher for him moving forward.
I was watching them the bot side as well. Just in the back of my mind, Michelle was actually very, very close to not having smite for that. It was coming off of cooldown, so there was an opportunity if too much damage was done for Storm to possibly steal that. So I was like holding my bated breath that if he had stole that, that would have been insane for them to lose grubs, spend all that time getting Drake, and then not getting it would have been absolutely just. It would have ruined RDG's early game. But right now, everything's even. Gold is even. Jolts is in a great position. It's starting to get a lot more presence in that top side from Iconic. They finally managed to make it work. The wards weren't there that time around. The trade back was good, but Flame gets sent out of the wave, and I'd trade my jungler's health to make sure I have a small CS advantage. Like, who likes junglers?
Man, I'm playing jungler these days. I hope people like me. My life is important too. Come on.
It's jungle. It's no one likes junglers. It's a horrible truth. It's like supports and junglers hand in hand.
Always jungle diff. Always our fault. No matter what. It doesn't matter what we're doing. You get jungle diff. Dragon gets taken jungle diff.
You get soul. You get elder. You get baron. You lose the game. It's your fault.
Yeah, I think that's a Brox clip somewhere on Twitch too. He's talking about the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. Iconic. Yeah, I mean he's doing the Lord's work up there. And speaking of the Lord's work, he's looking to knock up Bullet, and they will claim that kill. Going to try to trade back though. Revan, oh, he misses the auto attack, and it might cost him that, and he's not able to close that one out. A-click the creep there. Didn't have the ward. And now Iconic just lives on, it looked like 10 HP.
Manages to just squeak his way out of bot lane. That's twice now we've seen TPS just managed to get away with the smallest amount of health, which could have been massive for Varus to take control of that lane. We saw how strong Varus was and able to hold off 3 of them and keep stepping forward, even burning the exhaust coming from Storm, as Obongo right now is clearing up that mid lane a little bit more as well. Everything's looking pretty good here. But Revan's just constantly stepping forward. He has no fear.
Chains of Corruption. Storm has to flash away. I like the aggression there, using the ultimate. Confirms that you push the wave into the turret here. But Iconic is here as well. Revan has to base. On the top side, it's a play going on. They're trying to take down Jolts, but he'll jump away as well. A lot of evasion going on for all the members of TPS.
Tempo of this game is faster, regardless of the kills still being quite low. There's so many more opportunities for kills that just aren't being taken, or just the damage just isn't quite there yet. So it's a faster paced game. It just doesn't have that's kind of sweet moment of they're getting the kills. Especially with Flame even he ghosted forward there to try and get a little bit more pressure as Michaux's being collapsed on.
Uh-oh. This could be bad. Iconic charges onto Michaux and knocks him up. Here comes the Jax as well. Flash away with the Heartbreaker over the wall. Might keep Michaux alive. Flame, Knight, and Bullet are all here to try to defend their jungler. They're going to pull in Jolts. They're going to stun him up. They're going to dunk him down as well. They root up Iconic. They stun him. He can't get away, except he can with the help of his other few teammates here. He's charging straight back in on a Flame, trying to put some more damage. The Hui and the Seraphine doing just a little bit more, but it's going to be the one for nothing with a great response from RDG.
Yeah, very aggressive there from Michaux to go for that, and a great response for TPS to get that invade going. But once that Heartbreaker come over the wall, Jolts, you don't jump that wall, especially not that wall. That's the wall of no return once you go over that. If you don't have the flash available, goes a little bit too deep. But look, they get the grubs. They're in charge for the moment in terms of getting those objectives and getting that side lane pressure, and especially when you have a Jax. It's something that I drill into my jungler, especially. If you have a split pusher, you want those grubs because they get so much more from that than anyone else on the map.
Yeah, and it's looking like 6 grubs this game, going straight over to Primordial Spire. Nothing you like seeing more as that Jax, just like you are saying. So Jolts is going to be the side lane menace this game. Kind of a reversal. Last time RDG had the grubs, this time they're on the other team.
Yeah, they've swapped it around for now, but Flame right now is getting that freeze in the top side. Jolts will have a hard time crashing this one in if Flame plays it correctly, but it looks like they're going to get that forced in for now from what I can see on the map. Flame won't be able to hold on to that one, as we have a nice little panoramic of the wishing well that is just below bot lane, where all the ADCs wish they got new items like everyone else did.
Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah, you ever wonder what's down there? Is there like a secret dungeon like in Zelda? Like
Where
in
Samira
Kakariko
throws her
Village?
coins going, why can't I be an ADC?
Samir is valid too, but I don't know. It was nice. It was nice to see that side of Summoner's Rift.
The only
Another side of
party
Summoner's Rift
that
we might
throws a
see
coin,
doing is
I
the
couldn't
Dragon
go with
Pit.
anyone else. I'm very sorry. There's no one else.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, another side of Summoner's Rift we're going to see real soon is this Dragon Pit, as all of TPS is starting to coalesce down here. They have Jolts' teleport available as well. They want to have the top laner join with their team. Nice chunk of damage goes out onto Iconic and Storm, and Knights over the wall as well. Shields himself, just walks out, just making some space for the rest of RDG as well. Masho, they have full control over this river, but Iconic and the squad here, they're going to be the first ones attacking this Drake. I don't know if it's going to be easy to contest. They got to move Revan over, and might get squeezed here. Bullet slows him down, a lot of damage. It's just a matter of picking the angle. They stun out Iconic and they take him down. It's a good reset for Masho, as he's going to be popping off here. Double kill as they take down the Hui. Jolt's teleported in, but how much more can he do? Flash forward from Revan and a Ghost as well. Make sure he's put in the dirt too. Bullet now chasing down Glory. Revan, he's pretty fast with Ghost. Can he catch up? Glory might just get rooted out here. And I think it's going to be pretty easy for Revan to clean this one up. You can dash around, but straight into the waiting arms of the Varus. Masho now taking the Drake. It's a very decisively won fight again for RDG.
Yeah, they just we saw Flame walking down through the river, and that was Jolts going, if he makes it to that fight, we might lose it. If he ghosts, that's a 5 versus 4, and we can't let Michaux get that first reset. Jolts sends the TP, Flame just turns around, gets those waves, gets another plate for himself, gets the lane control, And the call from the rest of the team was, no, we got this, don't worry, we got Michaud. And Michaud, once again, is in a position where he's 3-0-3, and you know it's a dangerous game.
Yeah, especially on that Viego too, right? All that matters is getting that first kill, and then you could start snowballing just like that. We saw it in that fight. Tons of damage going in from both melee characters, both Knight and Masho onto Iconic there, just taking him straight on down, lets him charge into the rest of the fight, have that huge impact. And yeah, cannot emphasize enough, that was a complete 4v5 with Jolts joining, and nonetheless, RDG came out on top. Will they come out on top here as they attempt another gank onto Jolts, who's got the counter-strike, puts a lot of damage into Flame. Flame's got to play this one a little bit carefully, but never mind, because he just turns around with that dunk, takes Jolts straight on down. Very well played there from the top side of RDG.
Yeah, and that's just a very, very simple call of, we've gotten Drake, we've got some good fights down there. Revan got 3 kills, everything's looking great. Flame just going, yo, Michaud, can you just come up here and kill this top laner real quick? I just need a little bit of help. Very, very quickly comes up, gets it. Then also gets to invade into the jungle, gets a blue buff for himself. Will move straight over to Rift, more than likely here. Echo will get a blue buff. Everything's working out for them now, and Bullet is attempting to get into this mid lane to try and collapse onto the Echo. Well, Echo's one of the probably the slippiest champions to be in the mid lane. Just kind of just says no and presses R, gets all his health back and disappears. Which lore-wise still doesn't make sense to me. Even though I've watched Arcane like 3 times, but here's a fight, never mind.
Yeah, Jolts channeling the counter-strike, he stuns up Masho, but how much can they do? Iconic is diving in, Flame trying to walk this one out, heals up with the outer edge of the Q, cannot quite dodge away for the lightning strike called down by Hui, and then the shutdown is claimed by Iconic. So they will interrupt that Herald play right there. This does open up the time for Knight to roam down to the bot side, though. Doesn't even need to be here. The Chains of Corruption land. Revan's just dropping turret aggro. Knight's all the way in. He might have to ult out. Yeah, he will, just to make sure he doesn't go down to the turret. Gets a kill back on the bot side. And even kills across the board, I guess. One for top, one for bot.
They do end up trading it evenly, and I think it works out a little bit better for the box. They should be able to get a lot more pressure on that tower. While there won't be the tower taken in that top side, and it just will change up the game just a little bit in terms of they can now move that bot lane around. Also, there was a really good joke you could have got there with the wind becomes lightning and Hui's lightning. That lightning did strike twice. The next time it's there.
That's so good. Yeah, I'm still for later for sure. But
yeah,
Knight...
if it ever happens again, you know, but right now it is Knight in a lot of trouble with no ult.
Oh, he didn't strike twice, though. He missed that one. So, not quite applicable. Yeah, almost hit it. It was inches away, pixels away. Iconic, again, helping out his team. He is making a lot of things happen across this map. You know, credit to him. He got put pretty far behind in the early game. Took a lot of tempo loss, helping Jolts to get ahead, but he's still making things happen. He's still, you know, ganking where he can, taking down these kills, so staying in this game.
Yeah, I'm much happier now with Iconic's style of play. He's been a lot more effective in this one. We don't have lethality bar, so I was like, that Seraphine is dead if that hits. But I remember it's the on hit. It's not going to one-shot someone from across the map. We're fine. But here comes the Rift Herald. Here comes the pressure. But it's not even to take it. It's just to get it used, because Michaud didn't stay for the ensuing fight.
Yeah, Jolts. He's just... Okay. Sitting there auto-attacking. Yeah, you mess with the wrong basketball player. Get dunked. Get sent back to Fountain. You know, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Flame gets that turret now, and that's a blunder that Jolts probably shouldn't keep repeating, given that he's 1-5 now.
Yeah, he did so well in the early game. He got that first blood. He got a lot of pressure, and he was doing really well on that top side. But eventually, gods will become gods, and just takes him down. And Flame looking so comfortable now on that top side, and that side lane pressure that we expected to see from the Jacks that did get the lead with those grubs and being a side lane pressure. Never going to happen like this, and that's just death. Yeah,
not much to say about that one. They just CC down Glory, fully put him down. Iconic and Jolts now attacking Flame here. This is going to be, yeah, just another great movement from Iconic. Once again, helping out his teammates. So, good trade back there. Flame just stayed a little bit too long. He has to go back, has to spend his money, but he can walk down for this dragon now that it's spawning in just a few seconds. Or, well, he's got to respawn first, so it's going to be a little while before he gets there.
Yeah, it's once again looking like Rubber Ducky are, when they're in the driving seat, when they take advantages, they know how to continue to force them, and it's looking really, really good right now. They've got those 3 Drakes. They're pushing forward with this. and they have multiple win conditions now. They have Flame, regardless of that last death, is going to be very comfortable moving around the map now and being in those side lanes as long as it stays in that 1v1. As long as the rest of the team can pressure, those Drakes are lining up for them to either go, you can give us Soul or you can give us Baron. It's one or the other, you make the decision. So there's a lot of macro decisions they can make, and RDG with macro decisions is a terrifying prospect. We saw what they did the last time, but Knight, you could be in trouble.
Just
You're not.
instantly ults out. All right, I like that one. Using the resources once again to keep himself safe. Yeah, just like you were saying before, you're in this super hard spot now if you're TPS. Exactly it. Oh, hold on, the Apotheon into the mid lane. Tries to lock down Revan here. Jolt's flashing forward, but a beautiful flash from Revan to counter that one. The attack on the bot lane from RDG does not come up at all, despite the massive amount of resources invested.
Yeah, we saw them try to get a play onto Knight there on the Echo. Doesn't work out. They move straight to mid and they burn everything trying to get into that one, but Nyla double dashing and using the ult and everything coming out to try and set up onto a kill on Revan. Manages to get away from that one as well. It just keeps happening that they can't get the kill. Knight's escaped twice. Revan's escaped once. They just don't have the juice to get themselves that kill that might lead to something. And right now they're just stepping into the jungle. Bullet, you're on a ward. I know you're looking pretty there on the ward, but no skin on Karma, which is a crime at this stage. But regardless, it's
Yeah, she got
it's
that nice
dangerous.
legendary one. And she will be locking down this Xin Zhao as Iconic jumps forward onto Revan once more. Masho just playing the edge of this fight, waiting and choosing his moment to fully commit here. He's waiting for Knight to arrive in the mid lane as well. I like the skirmish here. Iconic just got kind of chunked out though. No big results. Revan took some poke as well. Jolt is looking for the counter strike. He's going to find it on the Knight, stuns him up. Knight, he does have the ultimate, but instead he just turns it around. A ton of damage here. The chains continue to spread across TPS, and Masho, the Black Mist is spreading. He flashed forward. Heartbreaker will close down that kill, and he gets the reset. Diving forward. He's actually going backwards to defend his teammates. I like that. I like that he's keeping everybody safe here. Masho, once again, very, very powerful now. 5-0 on the Viego. He's definitely running the show. And now they're all running straight to Baron.
Yeah, they're gonna push straight in, get this Baron. It's just looking too clean from RDG, and they're a team that they did absolutely just destroy us in game 2 and 3, and it's a team that I think is very, very strong, and they know how to play, even with 2 subs stepping in, with Revan and Bullet coming in, with their previous roster being just as strong with their subs coming in. It just screams that they are an amazing individual kind of team. They can pull in anyone at any point, and they just look amazing. And I actually believe last time Heaven or Vegas actually jumped in for one of the games as well. So they have a wealth of players to be able to dip in and grab at any point. And it's terrifying if you're any of the other teams in Vanquisher right now that they can do it.
Yeah.
Wait, Bullet is the sub, Revan is the starting AD. So thank you for that information, Fisher. Really appreciate it. But yeah, they have a wealth behind their main roster as well that they can just push in at any stage. And they are very, very strong. And I'm a little bit worried about some of the teams going into these if they don't prep the drafts enough, because I think Flame needs to be taken down a peg or two to give them a chance in that top side, because he always seems to get all the presence, all the pressure, and still gets to play what he wants to play.
Yeah, and speaking of
Ghost is a bit
playing,
egregious,
playing
though.
with Jolts here, playing around with that Ghost, that speed, cannot quite make anything happen despite using the Summoner spell, though. Yeah, I think we're giving Flame a ton of credit too, but I think that, Masho, everything he touches is gold. He's like the King Midas, I think, here, but, ooh, Iconic takes down Knight there. Great combination with Obongo. That's going to really put a halter into RDG's advance here. Kind of stall him out in the mid lane. Now that Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds as well, and there's no TP on Knight, it could be going a little bit differently, but Flame, you gotta watch out in the top side. He's got this Baron, he's buffing up the wave, and all the while, the rest of the squad is knocking on this tier 2 mid turret.
Yeah, it does stop the 1-3-1 with Knight going down, but they will be up in time to sprint towards that Drake and hopefully be able to get to the ensuing fight, but you immediately have to pull Flame down for this. So this is your opportunity. You have to send it fast. There is no waiting. You have to get there before Darius does and get that engage. And it looks like that's the plan going forward. But they're still stutter stepping. They're still taking their time. They're buying Flame time to be in the back. And this happened to my team. You don't want Flame in your back line. You will get wrecked.
Yeah, they're also just buying time for Knight to arrive to the fight as well. Oh, TPS is not picking their fight. They're not picking their moment, and they've given RDG time to fully regroup. This is completely disastrous now. They're potentially even channeling some recalls. They have to figure it out. Convergence, everybody's spreading away from it. The Seraphine ult kind of goes wide. The camera's all over the place too. I see 1,000 gold shutdowns. This fight is incredible. So far, Glory's gone huge. Takes down 3 for the backside of RDG. And just like that, the fight is completely turned on its head. The game is turned on its head as well. Massive bounties, massive shutdowns, all go over to TPS.
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect, and it all comes down to Nyla and Storm doing so well in that fight. Abongo setting it up with the ult. Everyone went at they just pulled the trigger perfectly there, and it is just it does make a massive difference, but it does not put a dent in the difference in that top and jungle right now, because it's 4K there nearly for them in the difference, and it's still a tough game, but there's hope, there's light, there's something there, and they're buying more time for themselves in this game, and that's what we wanted from them. So I just feel like if Michaud had gotten one reset, how would that fight have went?
Yeah, that could have been completely different there. I'd love to see that one in slow motion. That was just so chaotic with everybody piling on top of each other. So hard to follow. I guess that's just the nature of what it is with these, Nila fights, these Xin Zhao fights. So yeah, you've really got to watch out for that massive wombo coming. Now Revan, he's slowed down here. He will pop the chains of corruption, take down Jolts. Jolts has to flash away. Okay, a lot of damage put into the TPS top laner here, as RDG rallies around the Scuttle Crab. They're focusing around the top side. I think we've swapped from a 1-3-1 to a 1-4. Now the Baron's up, and then we'll continue to let Flame just continue pushing on that top side.
Yeah, as you said, Baron coming up now in the next minute and a half, so they want to get pressure around there. Also, there is a couple of flashes now missing from the side of TPS, so they might be in a little bit more trouble if the engage comes before they're back up. With Jolts and Storm missing those, they're becoming very easy targets for Michaud. And Iconic just standing at the gates, just absolutely no fear. No one passes this line. Imperial Guard Warhammer style. This is the line, and no one shall cross it. Or he's DC'd.
He's just rolling so
wanted
hard.
to make sure before I kept talking about how cool it was that he was just standing there, that he would actually DC'd. But it looked good, Iconic. That could be your new banner on Twitter. We like that.
Yeah, the best part about him moving after just that long is that it was all completely purposeful, standing at that gate with full intention. So totally agree with you there. Good look for Iconic. The stalwart defender, the guy keeping TPS alive in these games, handing off the reins to Glory and Obongo now that they're starting to scale up and continue moving forward, that we've hit the 25-minute mark. But things are still difficult. TPS still get pinched in the same old Drake versus Baron dilemma if the Baron's allowed to stay alive for more than a few minutes here. All going to depend upon how they decide to answer these side lanes. Knight's pushing away the bot side. He's got the teleport right there. Flame ever present in the top as well. If the Fnatic bush set up, they're going to face check this. They're instead, they're just going to pile straight on a Bullet. It's a lot of damage. Bullet flashes over the wall. Beautiful to keep the support alive. Knight now has teleported in. He's arrived at the fight. Jolts incredibly low. Flame flashes forward, pulls back Glory, a flash from Glory, again exiting them from the fight. Flame now, he's exhausted, he's slowed down, the Sterix pops, can he stay alive? The whale lands, a few people get charmed up as well. Glory's going huge once more, and Masho cannot find the resets either. Instead, they, once again, I cannot believe it, TPS, they're back in it. They've managed to win another fight.
Yeah, Flame going a little bit too deep there, not having the follow-up to keep him there, and just falls apart there right at the end. Obongo making the difference. That whale just sticking to you, slowing you, not allowing you to be the Darius you want to be. Raid boss is off, but Michaud does have flash, does have smite. Jolts knows.
Yeah, could be a steal here. You gotta watch this out. The two members, the mid and AD carry from RDG, pushing away, taking down these structures. Macho, he's forced away here. There's no potential for a steal. Another big objective bounty, but the gold gap is still astronomical. I don't know how TPS keep doing it, but somehow they do. Somehow they're still alive in this game, and they've taken the Baron, denying that away from RDG, keeping their dreams alive in this series.
They're slowly scaling back into this, which is absolutely terrifying. We're starting to see more and more items start to come online. They're starting to even up the gold. It's still building, but they've got the Baron. They can start to knock down this static gold that they haven't managed to pick up yet. They still have towers to take, but all the waves are shoved in. They need a little bit more time, but with this Drake coming up, they don't have time to pick those up, get the gold, get to their third item spike, but it all comes down to Neela. Glory has been the difference maker. Those ults have been just shredding through them, and that's where that difference is, that level difference. They need to get in for it.
Iconic, he's in. Look at the beautiful Seraphine ultimate charms up to Knight. He gets the ult, but it is not enough. 2 kills so far over to TPS. Iconic, he's got a sliver of HP, getting healed up by his support, by Storm. The members of RDG, only 3 of them left. Can they contest this Drake? Do they even want to at this point? Jolts is zoning away Macho from the bot side. Flames over the wall. RDG's just going to walk away from this one. And fight after fight, somehow, miracles happening in favor of TPS. I do not believe it.
Earlier about wishing wells, and somehow Glory threw 300 coins into it, and it came up heads every single time. And they're just winning every single fight. You don't expect, when you see a 5-0-5 Viego, and they just come in and they can't get the reset, they can't get that first kill because Glory is just running at your key members and just going, no, I have water and joy on my side. It's just working for them, and it's terrifying. It must be holy water at this stage.
Oh, then in that case, RDG's members must all be demons or something, but who knows? One thing that's really surprising to me is just, I cannot believe that Macho hasn't died yet. You mentioned he's 505, but 0 deaths! Even on this melee character, this Bruiser, somehow staying alive through all these fights. He's just maneuvering incredibly well, I guess. Maybe ulting backwards to keep himself alive, but have to see how they want to play this one. The chains do hit the Neela. Glory exiting. Okay, Flame cannot hit the pull either. They turn it straight around into Macho. He's ulting out, but 3 members charmed up by Seraphine. Straight into the blender once again. Oh my lord, TPS, they do not slow down. A shutdown. So many more kills going over as well. They've got the Grublings, the 6 grubs they've picked up, returning the dividends invested, pushing forward, taking down this inhibitor. Are they going to go for the end here? They're continuing forward. Everybody's all baroned up. This could be it. It's only Revenant Bullet left alive. I don't think there's much that they can do. All that they have left is the ability to sit and watch as the Nexus is destroyed and TPS tie up the score 1-1.
I'm not going to lie. That is probably the greatest comeback we're going to see for a while in Vanquisher. That was disgusting. Like,
yeah, I can't
everything.
I'm almost speechless at this point. I mean, especially after how powerful RDG looked in the last game, especially after how dominant they were in the early game of this one too. The mental fortitude on the TPS players, man, you gotta hand it to these guys.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Michaud, from the position they were in for 505, they were there for so long, and they just couldn't get into the fights correctly. Just the Neela was just the difference every single time, and it was absolutely insane when they brought that forward and Nyla just got to rip through the squad. You saw them dash into backlines, had no fear whatsoever. The healing coming from Seraphine as well. Storm was just making the difference there. And the team fights were just layers upon layers of CC of perfection. And that's just exactly what we want to see. And I don't know what to make of this anymore, because that changes everything when it comes to RDG's draft and how they want to play. For Revan to be in such a good position, from Macho to be in such a good position, Flame to be winning that side lane, to 1 team fight, 2 team fight, 3 team fights, all in favor of TPS. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal indeed. They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Let's see if they can do it again in Game 3. This is going to be a banger. This one's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss this one, viewers. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back after a short break.
was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. I was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shade my smile. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Moving on, moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Some days there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Some days I'm not myself, there's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared are in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. Eh. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. Eh. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife.
A pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights. Tomorrow feels a year away, like the seconds, the beginning and the end. But if in time it's yesterday, your picture's gonna bring it home to me again. The world is waiting up, the world is waiting half a step beyond our door. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights.
Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time. Buying things online and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I were safe and sound.
All right, and we are back one more time. Game 3 of Rubber Duck Gaming versus Primordial Spire. Once again, Ultravox with Satyr here. TPS, man, they had some kind of crazy comeback in that last game, tying up the score. Got to see if they can keep that momentum and close this one out, or if Rubber Duck Gaming is going to finally use that early game strength to close out the game, like in Game 1.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they can do. We're going to see Seraphine actually taken away, so RDG are changing up their bans just a little bit. It is something that we saw TPS use to its greatest effect. Storm was absolutely glorious on that, and Glory to follow it up was just the icing on the cake for them. Bel'Veth still being feared by TPS. They did not like Michaux's. Bel'Veth, Maokai not being taken away here from RDG, so I'm fully expecting Maokai to be their first pick as they can pilot that champion like no other.
Yeah, Maokai, exceptionally strong. Always love to see that character. Just does so much for a team. Always enabling those big plays. I think it's a great choice here. Karma's still available as well. That's been a pretty popular first pick, but TPS was on the blue side before. We have our first side swap and our first blue one Maokai selection of the series.
Yeah, it's definitely something I want to see more of from them. They did manage to play that with the Ashe Braum, which is something they did very well from one of the games I played against them previously with Jolts. We'll have to get a lot of pressure on the top side with the Maokai coming in, so I'm very excited to see what RDG can do with that pick again. The Hui coming in for Obongo, really enjoyed that pick. He has a lot of really, really good kind of playmaking abilities on everything he plays. The Azir getting away on 1 HP was a big swing for TPS. It didn't work out for them in the end, but it was something I was very excited to see. The Hui's ult was absolutely exceptional going through. They're going to go for Karma and Nico. Is that going to be Karma top, Nico mid, save the bot lane and draw bans?
That is really interesting. Karma top, I feel like we see that a lot less at these levels of play, but certainly could happen. Does deny the chance for Flame to be on one of those Gods champions that we do like to see him on. He looked fantastic on the Darius last time as well. So much pressure in the top side. I don't know, definitely could happen though. Got Iconics Xin Shao again, gotta call that one out. I thought he looked fantastic on that. Kind of the only glimmer of hope for the early game until TPS started really making their comeback. So hopefully it's going to be more of that for him. But bans are going to be finished out. Varus and Cassante from TPS and Nautilus. One more coming down the pipeline from RDG. Going to be Alistar, so support focus here.
That's to make sure they don't go for maybe like some sort of Sylas kind of swap somewhere, so they don't get Maokai and Alistar ults for Sylas. It's a really interesting one because I see it quite a lot in the higher levels that they're like, this is really good Sylas game, we can't let them have it, and then immediately it's like, ban the Alistar. It's like always the answer, because if he takes the Maokai ult and it goes long enough that he can take an Alistar ult, you're never killing him and he's neutralizing your best ability. But the Rel Misfortune bot lane is interesting to me. They want to dive onto a Karma Nico comp, so that's Yeah, that could be an interesting one coming through for them. I think that could do a lot of work, but they do leave open the Gwen or Flame, so that could rip through the team very easily if left unchecked on that top side, which has happened before, and it went really well for Flame on that Cassante.
Yeah, and Gwen
Ashe.
able to just deny most of the damage from Hui and from Misfortune. So really like these chances for Flame being able to impact these team fights. Yeah, Ashe gives another good spot of CC available for RDG. They have a great potential for picks going forward in this game. And now Jax, the last pick for TPS this time. Jolts is running it back. He looked kind of shaky on it last time, really struggled, had some early help from Iconic, and even despite that, started falling behind. Maybe it's going to be different with the Gwen. Jax a lot better into Gwen, I think, than Darius, so maybe it could be a different story.
Might change up a few things. We'll have to see exactly how it changes, but I'm quite optimistic that we'll have a game of League on our hands. There'll definitely be some shenanigans. There'll definitely be some big changes, especially with that Gwen coming through. We're seeing slowly Flame change from the Cassante into the raid boss into now just running with scissors. And that could either go really well or really badly depending on who he runs into. So if he runs into the wrong place and just dies immediately to waves of damage that are going to be constantly going forward from that way, from the Misfortune, it could go badly. But honestly, all eyes on Storm on that rel. Get a good rel ult, you have everything to set up your team once again.
Yep. Definitely a lot of tools on both sides. Let's see how they apply them. Let's go ahead and head on to the Rift here. RDG versus TPS. Game number 3. RDG on blue this time, TPS on the red. Let's kick things off.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Will we see any level 1 shenanigans? Will we see either team try to get into each other's heads and see where they're going to go? And for the moment, it looks like a 5-man spread, but RDG historically were one of the teams to try something the last time. So let's see if they go for anything this time. But 5-man spreads?
Yeah, I think they might just walk up. They correctly counterplayed this top lane invade last game. RDG did, but this time they're doing it themselves. Get that early ward there, really nice. Masho dodges away from that lightning bolt, gets that early ward. They're going to know exactly where Iconic is starting now. Tons of good information, especially for an early ganking jungler.
Yeah, you really want to get as much as you can from that, and that's working out fine for them for now. Storm still sitting very far up in this, might try get something from this. There's always a chance that Rels just send it. They always can just send it and try cover an early engage, especially with that Glacial Augment just reducing so much ability across the kind of damage front. I'd love to see them just go ham, but we have to quell our expectations. And it is Hail of Blades on Nico. Someone is screaming in the chat that it's Hail of Blades on Nico. And we didn't notice that. Thank you so much. We saw the echo of Hail of Blades, and I was like, is that really the best one to go for here? I really do like Electrocute, but no, we're going for Hail of Blades. And you know what? That could actually work with her passive, no?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's worse runes to have, but certainly a suboptimal choice. I didn't think it was great on Echo. I think it's even worse on Nico, but, at least it's not completely useless. It could always be worse. But yeah, a little bit of a blunder right there. Jungler's going to be starting on opposite sides of the map this time. And Jolt's looking for a counter strike. Gets a ton of damage on the top side. Could potentially be an early gank. Sometimes we see the Maokai's just looking to flash at level 2, level 3. Really put the pressure on. Could be good mid if they want to follow up with Nico CC. Could be good top. A lot of different options for Macho this game.
Yeah, let's see how this one goes for them, because I think after everything I've seen, I kind of want to keep my eye on Revan more than anyone else right now, because I feel like Revan has been in positions to carry from that ADC role and just hasn't found the right area to get that damage down and really put the pressure down. So I want to see a little more from that bot side and maybe a little bit more presence from the junglers down in that bot side.
Yeah, but it's that level 3 gank, just like I was saying. Jolt stuns them both up, pops the ward to hop away. Iconic's coming up through the river. They could look to turn this one around. Jolt's took a sapling to the face, will slow him down a little bit. Iconic just zoning them all out. Knight took a huge chunk of damage in the mid lane as well. Had to blow the flash to escape from Obongo's Hui. Iconic's on the right side of the map. He's got a bunch of camps up there. Masho's really slowed down now. Tons of tempo loss, but Iconic can even just come around right here, wants to try to make the play on the Nico happen. Knight went invisible, when it becomes lightning hits, and it's first blood going over to Obongo. Great job from Iconic.
They're going to have to change from TPS to just Team Lightning Strikes Twice, because this combo they have going with Obongo and Iconic is just really working out for them, and I never want them to change. Just stay this way. Show us what you can do. But Jolts wants to go aggressive onto Flame. That's so aggressive.
I think that's a pretty big misstep given how huge that wave is. At least he can dodge most of that damage, but Flame's level 4 to his level 3. We have the Maokai coming to the bot lane here. Glory should be the target. Revan's slowing him down. The root lands. Great cleanse, but it is not enough. Masho gives him a big old slap with that big tree arm. Storm has to walk out of there despite the lowered movement speed. And yeah, Masho's going to get one back. So junglers always making things happen everywhere on this game.
Yeah, the Whomping Willow manages to get its first blood there. There's no magical spell that can turn this one off as it just comes in and just demolishes that one. Sets themselves up perfectly for the rest of their clear here. Are going to get the Scuttle Crab. They might even be able to go into the enemy jungle to try and get a Gromp, but no, they're just going to go back into their own. And it's very aggressive pathing here from Masho already. I would have liked to see them maybe try and steal a camp away, because I always just love junglers that think proactively is like, we want to shut Iconic down early. But so many camps to clear, so much time already spent on ganks. They kind of need to get around a little bit more, right?
Exactly, yeah. Took that whole top side into the top gank. Got both crowds, but no bot camps taken at all yet. A few CS behind Iconic at this point. A little bit of combat stats down to Iconic does have that double longsword right now. Can start up these grubs with the help of Jolts, who's just walked down here. Going to get this crab first to ensure the safety, ensure he can escape if he needs to. But I like this focus for the grubs. I thought it worked out really well. And Jolts, of course, that side laner, going to be putting them to great effect.
Yeah, let's see what they can do with this. Grubs, once again, Jolts, once he has grubs, he's going to be able to take down more and more of that. Obongo will step away using... I'm not going to learn all of the names for all of Way's abilities. I'm just not. There's way too many of them. I'm sorry.
Even I haven't learned most of them, so I'm sure they'll come somewhere down the pipeline. Either way.
We'll start over time to pick up a few of them, but there's too many abilities for one champion to learn, let's be honest. Like, we have a hard enough job sometimes watching some really bad games, like, never mind a good game. We're not learning all Way's abilities, I'm sorry, but let's see what the rest of these can do here.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
Knight, he's scouting out with the clone. Masho, he denies the jump in from Storm. Storm taking some damage. Iconic will dive forward. Knight tagged with the Hui ultimate, and Revan putting a lot of damage in, but everybody is doing so much on the other side as well. Revan feared away, starts to walk that one out. Obongo doesn't have enough damage. He's level 6 compared to Revan's level 4. Revan has to go and flash over the wall. Bullet escaping as well, dodges the lightning strike. It's a 2 for 2, I think, but Dragon goes down in favor of RDG.
Yeah, but more kills for Obongo, and you don't want to go against a fed way in these scenarios. The ult comes out from Flame.
Yeah, Grandmaster at arms. Okay, Jolts trying to make this one happen, but so much damage from Flame. Turns right back around with that needlework. Going forward, Jolts has to flash away. Flame is ghosted, though. Cannot close out this kill. Both top laners are at each other's throats. Flame, the one with the teleport, though, will be at a very distinct advantage off of that.
Yeah, this is looking really, really good here so far. It's just a very, very back and forth. Tempos going either way, objectives going different ways, and the advantages are being picked up where I want. I want to see a very strong Ashe. I want those slows to constantly be hitting the correct targets and making sure the front to back is working for them as they buy time for Flame. On the other side, though, I want Hawaii to be really strong, because when that champion looks good, it looks great, and it's just great to watch just how many different avenues you can take. It's the most adaptive champion in the game to, this fight is going this way, I can do 4 things to match that or send it a different way. I absolutely love the design behind it. Just some of the numbers are a little bit crazy on the ult, let's be honest.
They are pretty high, but I think even if you tune down the ult a little bit, Hui players would still love him. He's that 4D chess, you know, I'm in another dimension, I'm parallel universes ahead of you, planning out my moves character. It's no wonder he's got such a big player base. He's a pleasure to watch too. So yeah, I'm glad he's getting some kills. Obongo's going to be a threat for sure. Maybe they're going to bring Iconic back around to the mid lane, help out some more there. No really neutral objectives up so far. I don't think there's a play to be found on the bot side either, unless they want to go for this dive here, which I think is definitely doable with the Rel.
Yeah, let's.
He's gonna be walking away from it though.
Yeah, it will be. Michelle is staying for this one. Still level 5. I'm not sure how close to 6. Could just be a minion or two, which could be the difference in a fight. But Knight is also here. Jolts is starting to get that feeling that someone's watching. Just feel like someone's watching you, and you just feel the worst fear ever as a top laner that I'm not getting to fight 1v1. That's not fair. But having the help from Iconic so much in game 1 and 2, maybe they deserve something from that one. But Michelle has left, has went back to base. And right now they want to maybe get some presence towards the spot side. It's where I want to see Michelle kind of being at all times. I want Revan to be that catalyst for the win. I want those crystal arrows to make the difference.
Yeah, I think that it's great if he manages to get the Maokai ultimate, but ult's traded again in the top side. Flame continually coming out on top. I would like to see the CS lead up there, see what that's looking like, because I think Flame has been holding that freeze for almost a minute now. Starting to probably pull pretty far ahead. Gold lead is dead even though, so must be quite a few advantages elsewhere on the map, probably for Obongo.
Did you say
Grubs,
gold lead is dead even?
gold, yeah, the gold. There's no gold lead, I guess.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be a gold lead if it's even.
Okay, all right.
Just saying. Just saying, it's not a gold lead if it's even.
The gold. Yeah, you're right. The gold lead is non-existent. There is no gold lead. All right, thank you.
That's the correct way of saying it.
There we go. And there,
Masho.
Iconic goes on to Masho. There go the Brambles as well, but they don't really do anything for Masho. It just goes straight on down. 4 members of TPS all around the Grubs. They will claim all 6 of them in the second game in a row. Got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, having that topside pressure, Joel's playing out of their mind in the last few games and controlling it and not dying to Flame is absolutely brilliant. We absolutely love to see it. Bullet is going to get a nice little mantra Q onto Storm there, but Joel's is getting so much pressure from these Grubs that he has to play the lane so well, and so far Joel's has been controlling it, not giving Flame the opportunity to shut down that lane the way we've seen Flame do it so many times before. And I absolutely adore watching Flame play, but it just seems like Joel's knows how to play into this one and keep himself safe in the lane, but a little bit greedy there, recalling there and just letting Flame run up and stop that one. Will set them back just a little bit, might force the TP out, but Flame is just constantly freezing this one, but the TP coming in.
Yeah, Knight's here. They're slowing down Iconic. They're going to stun him out with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, since I'll pop to deny the damage. Knight's over the wall. They still have the Pop Blossom for the big team fight ultimate, but no Brambles from Maokai available. Knight scouting out with the clone. The sapling of the wall gives vision.
No TP.
Yeah, he's no TP. Jolts is already here, so it's 5v4 at best. RDG just decides to give this one away. They're going to let Flame build up an even bigger advantage on the top side. Just let the dragon go.
Yeah, Flame is starting to get to that stage now where it's going to start feeling heavier and heavier in that lane for Joel's to try and break back in, especially if another plate goes over. I think just the one would be good here just to reset and get away from it, and which will be the choice here for Flame. Get the one, leave. Joel's is start going to... He's going to start feeling the burn here a little bit. When you're playing against Flame, you can't let them do this to you. Like, it's building up and up, and it's going to just become heartburn after a while because you could lose the entire game just off of those leads.
Right, it's almost a 40 CS lead, at least 30 CS lead here for Flame. Not quite at his Flame horizon. That's going to be some ways off, but maybe sometime later in the game. Still, yeah, exactly like you say, going towards that Riftmaker. It's only going to get harder for Jolts here with this massive power differential going over in top side.
Okay, let's break this down really quickly. So the fights haven't been happening around the objectives. Both teams are very, very cautious to give over too much of a lead. They're both trying to keep this even as possible. Who wins in an even game?
Who wins in an even game? I think that... I think in an even game, I'm kind of favoring the RDG comp. I feel like it's so much easier to pilot when you're looking for picks. You have way better long range engage there. That's far less committal. And so if it's an even game, you can kind of play with that and really build an advantage that way. What do you think?
I think you're right. RDG do have the Gwen factor. There's just something about that champion And also they have Michaud, they have the Maokai, they just have that massive wall of bramble thorns that just say, you want to fight us? Come on, come towards us. And
Right,
sometimes that can be the difference. But Misfortune is just one of those champions that does magical damage with first strike. But oh no.
Arrow goes barely wide, misses by just mere millimeters there. Glory gets to walk away scot-free. Yeah, that's tough. Gotta land those arrows. That's the thing about the non-committal engage. It's sometimes a little bit harder to hit. Storm, of course, on the other side, going to have a ton easier time as well getting these fights engaged. I think the thing that TPS has going for them is that their comp is a lot easier to play.
Yes, and we've also already seen some of the style from TPS in that they know how to follow Huei's ult, and they know how to dive onto it, especially with Iconic. They don't quite have the Neela this time around, where Neela's going to be diving into the back and just shredding through carries, but is that going to be the Gwen this time around, or are they going to make the... Yeah, it could be very, very sketchy from here on out, especially considering how much top pressure they have, and they got the last Drake. They're starting to build up these objectives.
Yeah, definitely. This Herald, a lot of pressure there. I think that TPS is moving around all as a unit. Really like to see this from them. Great team play. Sure, they're losing out on some individual leads, but the objectives will pile up. Can get a lot of turret damage off of this. Really make something happen somewhere else on the map. I mean, aside from top lane, everywhere else is looking relatively even. That's really the only zone where things aren't looking so good for TPS here. Bullet wants to root out Glory. I don't think Revan can follow this up, though. Storm has arrived. We'll put some pressure down onto the bot lane. They're going to be looking for Revan. They flash forward. Magnet Storm activated. Misfortune has the damage, has a lot of damage, and so does Iconic as they will be joining in. Audacious Charge nets Iconic the assist. Double kill goes over to Glory. Herald immediately popped as well to get this bot lane turret going down.
I think they might even be able to get this before the Rift Herald hits, which means they get a second charge, but Storm actually steps off. That could have saved its health. That could have made a big difference there, because those Grublings are just insane, but they're going to send this one forward, get that bonus damage, because it lost so much health there. If they just waited a couple more seconds, they could have really put some hurt. And Obongo just got a kill.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that one, so good job for him getting that solo kill while we're into the bot lane play. Storm going to be looking for Bullet here. Bullet has to flash away. Iconic was there to back them up, so needed to do that to stay alive. Iconic now doing some nice counter jungling, building up their own CS lead. And yeah, Obongo 3-0 now on this way, 400 bounty on his head, packing that heat, packing the Luden's companion. Let's go, that's a good spot to be.
Yeah, very, very comfortable here now. And Knight on the Nico was very, very impactful in game one, but hasn't had the opportunity this game, as Obongo just looks so much more comfortable now in this matchup. And with that win becomes lightning combined, I think that's probably the best mid-jungle synergy we've seen so far from these two. And I'm absolutely here for it. RDG, seeing them be dismantled by this way, though, is really putting a worry in me that can this ever be allowed through? Because RDG is probably one of the strongest teams in this. I think they're a very, very good team. And I didn't expect TPS to be kind of running them over like this, especially after such a dominant game one.
Yeah, if I'm just looking at game one, I'm thinking, RDG just win this 2-0. They have a nice, easy path through it. I mean, even looking at the first half of game two, right? But TPS are throwing one hell of a counter punch here, staying in this. They've got the teleport coming in from Jolts. Flames on the flank here. They're looking to catch him, but can't quite catch up. Dragon aggroed. Now, it's only the second Drake, so it's not imperative to take this one, but stacking is going to build up. Is RDG going to choose to fight this? Are they going to look for it? They send in the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and here comes the Brambles over the top as well. That's a lot of CC. Knight takes down Storm. Flame rushing forward, trying to take down Glory. Here's the Pop Blossom as well, but the bullet time kind of doesn't really hit anybody as they all spread away. Jolt's dropping pretty low. Glory able to find a ton of damage, though, onto the bot lane here. Flashes forward and takes down the Ashe. 2 double kill for the Misfortune. Masho, the next target. Obongo and Iconic. The win becomes lightning duo. We love them so much. Flame, goes forward. Barely doesn't manage to finish off Obongo, and instead it's the Hui's revenge. Glory, 3 kills to them in that fight. It's a clean sweep for TPS.
Yeah, they managed to swipe everyone off in that fight. It was so spread, it was so messy, but it doesn't matter. They got it, and that gives them more pressure, more money, everything they need now onto those carries. Misfortune taking over from Revan's 2-0 start to 2-2-2 with a 6-1 Misfortune in your face. Bullet time goes wide, but they still have that damage and just that lethality difference. And no one can tell me ADC isn't strong when everyone's building lethality on it.
God, yeah, that lethality damage was just disgusting in that fight. We saw him deal, 3/4 of a squishy's health just with auto Q. It's so hard to play against too if you're going up versus the lethality Misfortune. But Glory's piloting it exceptionally well, staying alive in these fights, just skirting around him. Even despite Storm going down so early, TPS managed to really, really steamroll the fight. So very, very impressive. Speaks volumes to their fight prowess.
Yeah, really great work coming in now, and it's completely changing a lot about how I feel about these teams right now. Because RDG, I had them ranked so high up with our previous split champions. I won't name them ever, but we have those. We have RDG, and we have some really, really good squads coming through. And just the Spire was always like middle of the pack for me, just in my head. But this just changes things for me immediately. And that Crystal Arrow is going to change absolutely nothing this game. That's twice we've seen that miss.
Look at how hard it is to hit this Misfortune with that Ashe ultimate, though. It's not only the swiftness boots, you have the Ghost Blade speed, you have the strut speed, so much. Misfortune, yeah, how much movement speed does Misfortune have just on an average day here? 600? 5? Yeah, no, that's coming out of base, so about 500-ish. So difficult to hit with these skill shots. 487.
Speedy champion, and it's great to see Misfortune when. I remember when W used to be Grievous Wounds, and the passive used to be the W, and then they were like, "Well, add double tap, and that'll make people like it more." And it's just like it was there already, and it was better. Give us back the Grievous Wounds, but no, like the changes have pushed Misfortune back into the game, and I absolutely loved when Bloodthirst used to give you a shield. And even if you got hit by like a minion or something, it didn't change the speed because you had the shield. It worked. It was lovely. And then they had to go and ruin it on us and make her into a lethality champion. Why, Riot?
Because Bloodthirster was too strong after they specifically buffed it to be strong. But that's a complete other can of worms. I'm not willing to talk about that whole game balance 80 carry bullshit right now. So let's log back in and see how we're doing. Iconic, he's starting to get a little bit aggressive here. Still not really a ton of forward vision. That's something we mentioned in game one, and I really would like to see that more. Regardless of who's in the lead, TPS or RDG, I think both teams need to do a better job of getting this really aggressive vision forward and playing around it.
Yeah, let's put the thinking caps back on now and put ourselves in the seats of TPS. They have the Drake advantage. They have the Grubs. Jolts is strong, but not yet able to take down Flame. I think Flame still might have a little bit of an advantage in that side as they're just Gwen, and Gwen can do magical things with the needlework. So I think getting around those team fights more and getting Glory activated is their plan. Do they try and force a Baron to try and pull in a team fight and kind of draw pressure? Or are they just happy enough to hold the game where it is and buy more time for that extra item to come true for the likes of Obongo?
Yeah, I mean, I think that holding the game state neutral is going to be fine for them. The scaling seems about even on both sides. I actually favor the Hui scaling way more. And I think that Misfortune, even with the lethality build, is going to be team fighting better than the Ashe outside of, that pick scenario. So keeping the game state even, letting things advance, letting each member of the team become stronger, I think is fine for TPS here. Even if they have this big lead, if they're not pushing it, they don't necessarily need to. They're kind of chilling right now, preparing for this next dragon in a minute.
Yeah, Drake's looks like the focus. They'll invite pressure and that for sure. But right now, this mid tower is the eyes for both teams. They need that one to open up the map and give themselves better ability to see, get some deeper wards in, open up the map. It's one of the most important towers in the game to pick up early. And right now, they're holding on to most of their towers. So TPS are in a great position, but RDG slowly chipping away. One night.
It was the Nico all along. The Pop Blossom will find two, but no kills go over in RDG's favor. Instead, it's just a lot of damage put into Glory, put into Storm. 2 key ultimates, 3 key ultimates already used from RDG, and they're fully zoned out of the river. It is so hard for them to walk up now that they've already expended those resources. Glory's going to base. They can get back into the fight pretty quickly. RDG, they're in a bad spot now.
Yeah, they're in a bit of a tough spot right now, and it's going to be hard to break into this. Drake could be taken so easily here, but it looks like they kind of wanted to go for the fight. Their TPS were hovering around looking for it. Is that going to be a Baron call? No way.
Yeah, I think they're threatening it. They want to draw TPS away from this dragon here. They don't want to give it over for free. They're saying, if you go for Drake, we're going to start up this Baron. But I don't know how long they're going to hold this positioning. Instead, they just travel straight back to the mid lane. Only 2 members required to do this Drake while we have some more wave clear to keep RDG under control here. I like them trying to call out TPS. They're moving up. Are they gonna go for it? I don't know.
It looks
Drake's
like it's
already
going to be towers here. Drake's already gone. They're going for jolts.
Yeah, he gets stunned up, bounced around, doesn't really have anywhere to jump to. The minions aren't quite there, but he does have the control ward and the flash. Once again, tons of ultimates expended. Storm has arrived. They're very fast thanks to Wei. Iconic's here too. Oh, RDG just cannot find anything.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good here for them now. Especially when you think about how strong RDG are and how strong TPS are going into this. Both of them are on 2-0. Like they both had really, really good start to the split. And for the teams that I expected to kind of jump up the kind of standings so early, you have a couple of changes. Like Pride Stalker is probably one of my favorite teams to watch going into this. I've always felt they've had such an aggressive style. And then the same with Dorado, despite my dislike of the org and biggest hater and all that. Dorado are probably one of the best teams in this, and they proved it last year. And XG Dragon is another team I expected to get off the ground running, but this is a team I haven't seen enough of, and they've been absolutely perfect so far. And to bring this game back after game 2, I'm very, very excited to see how they're going to do in the future. But right now, Flame, the weight of this game is on your shoulders. You have that CS, you've been given the pressure. You have to make the difference here. And we're just not seeing the ability for Flame to get onto that ADC. Glory is that target, and we just need to see it go down.
Right. Flame might even start struggling in this side lane too, now that Jolts has acquired the Canic Rookern. There's one on each, him and Iconic now, and given the triple AP top side, I think it only makes sense surviving that magic damage would be helping out Jolts tremendously, but they're attacking Glory. Great cleanse, just starts to walk that one out. Iconic now dives in and knocks out Bullet, and the ultimate is used. The wall put up. Just skirmishing, just attacking each other, taking a strike, back and back off. No kills confirmed on either side. Flame messing around with Obongo. As we look away, there's a kill going straight on down. Shut down for Knight. They take down Glory. This is huge. The strongest member from TPS instantly eliminated. Could this be the Baron? They're all walking towards it. Conic might have to face check it. Okay. Knight steps up. Flame is here as well. A little bit of damage, but Iconic charges forward. They're going to attack him. He flashes away. More needlework. Will try to lower his health bar, but they can only do so much through that wall that is Canic Rookern. Jolt's here, controlling the fight, ready to jump in. Baron's starting up. This is really ambitious. I don't think they can do it here. I am scared for TPS.
I trust in the Ashe. That's what you have to say to yourself when you're in these situations. There it is.
Yeah, they lands the ultimate, but look, there's the massive magnet storm. Yeah, and they landed. They have the whale that's ticking down. Everybody's getting out of it though. Nonetheless, big kills for TPS. Obongo takes down 2, almost gets 3 with the lightning strike and a Revan. Iconic got the second one there. 2 kills for TPS means that they can instantly convert it into Baron 2. They managed to save the fight and they turn around the objective.
Yeah, on the wings of Glory, they managed to take out that ADC, but it wasn't enough. The Baron was just too much of a prize for them to try and take at this point in the game. They had the damage, but they just didn't have the fight. Jolts just takes that Ashe ult straight to the face, says, no, you don't have the follow-up, you don't have the ability to kill me. And they're still alive, they're still waiting for Ashe's third item, they're waiting to get the Blade of the Ruined King to try and cut through them, but it's just not enough yet, and it's getting scarier and scarier. They now have open avenues to take whatever lane they want. They have that Cloud Soul coming up soon as well. So Iconic's going to be not only sending you back, but sprinting at you at a much higher speed. Jolt's the same. It's going to be tougher and tougher, and Storm especially. Cloud is very, very good for this team right now, and they know it too. They have Baron, they have the Avenue, they have the wards. What we've seen in the previous game, RDG were in that position. Is there a miracle fight available for them?
Yeah, we've seen this kind of lead. We've seen this kind of game state. Just in game 2, TPS managed to come back through it. Can RPS do the same thing? That is the question. You're absolutely correct. I don't know. It's an uphill battle all the way. They've got to play off their CC. They've got to play for these isolated picks. They keep getting schooled in these big fights where members of TPS arrive to back their teammates up. Baron's a lot of pressure to deal with too, so they might just end up folding to this macro pressure. It's an uphill battle all the way.
I think this is where the difficulty comes in a little bit more for TPS over the likes of RDG, because RDG's macro has been historically better in their victories, while TPS's victories were built off of team fights. And we want to see more of that from them. We want to see them be able to play the macro, and they've gotten the Drakes, but let's see them get these towers. Let's see them get these side lane pressures. Let's see them work their way around the map. And right now, they're still holding on. They're just going to brute force mid and Bullet. You don't want to be there.
Luckily, Bullet's pretty fast, faster than a speeding Bullet, potentially, but he is one. He will stand there, try to defend this mid lane turret, but it goes down very quickly to this buffed up Baron wave. Only a matter of time before it reaches the second turret as well. I think that, yeah, the wave clear tools are kind of lacking on the side of RDG. All they really are relying on is Nico, Bramble Smash here and there too. Gonna be tougher and tougher versus these buffed up minions.
Yeah, much tougher positions for them, but they're slowly getting through it. Revan's slowly building up more and more money, and getting to that play, the Rune King will make the difference. But Glory, look at the setup here. They want that ult to just rip through them, but they have to keep getting these waves in. They have to keep that pressure up, and Flame wants this fight.
It's attacking Obongo, teleport in. Flame is feared away. Pop Blossom in a flash forward will knock up Obongo, but Flame on the other side is just clobbered by Jolts. Revan picks up a kill somewhere, and Magnet Storm goes completely wide. Does not manage to hit anybody. I cannot believe it. Flame went down, teleport in, made it just in time, but they traded Obongo. Flame going down means it's a 4v4, but Baron buff, the push is relentless. Baron buff is out. Nonetheless, pushing forward. Want to continue their lead. They know they have very strong engage and still have the bullet time too.
Those timings are in such a great position here as well when it comes to those neutrals. The next two coming up, that Elder. 4 minutes, so there's plenty of time for them to play their macro and work their way around the map right now. TPS will be able to take their time. That Baron coming up, their team fights are just a step above RDG right now. They do manage to take out Obongo. That's great. You trade Flame for it. Flame doesn't even get the kill. Flame can't solidify the advantages they picked up in lane. A 50 CS lead, but they're still not able to stay in these fights long enough to make it work. Waiting to get that Void Staff, because that Kainic Ruckharn is just ripping through them, and I believe that's due another nerf very soon.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised. That item is niche, but incredibly effective when it's applicable, so what a great game for it. Yeah, so much work being done by just that one singular item on both of the frontliners. Incredibly difficult to punch through. We already have the Magic Pen on Nico coming through for Gwen soon, like you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, I would hate to see the game just come down to a burger flip at Elder. Both teams have played pretty well so far. If it comes down to just who smites the Elder better, that's going to be heartbreaking. I like that RDG's pushing in this mid lane, but they're losing out so much on the top side. The 6 grubs, all those little grublings, they're just moving forward, helping to facilitate this push here. Flame, the only member of RDG around there on that side of the map. Knight could be looking for this angle here, the flank, but Flame is already down. Plop Blossom on the backside doesn't hit anybody, and Knight's just in a bad spot now. Magnet Storm hits 3, and so does the bullet time. It is absolutely massive for the bot lane from TPS. A 5-man ace, clean across the board. That's all for this one here, folks. TPS managed to take it home.
Yeah, TPS managed to just dismantle Rubber Ducky Gaming right there at the end. It almost felt like one of those TikTok videos where someone gets headbutted by a duck and they just turn into a nice little duck meal right at the end. They just took them apart bit by bit, and Look, there's so many moments there where it just slipped from their grasp, and it's tough. It's very, very tough. RDG are going to be kicking themselves when it comes to going back over that draft for sure, because Koenig Ruckern and two of the slightly tankier members just ended their draft. Like, it was just too much AP, not enough answers, and Revan never got the chance to really show what Ash can do in those later stages. It just became a massive problem.
Yeah, I think also Mashu looks so great on these carry style bruisers too. The Belveth, the Viego, kind of stuck on this Maokai pick where he really didn't have much of an impact this game. Only 5,000 damage. Sure, he had some decent ultimates, but really struggled to kind of get in there and make the same plays as he was able to in the earlier games. Yeah, I think if you're RDG here, you're pretty angry after this one. You're coming back. You're hungry for the next win. You gotta watch out for him next week too. But TPS definitely the better team on the day. Mental fortitude was there. Team fighting was there. Big congrats to them.
Yeah, massive congrats, and I'm very, very excited to see what TPS are going to do in the future. I think after game one, I had written them off. I think RDG were one of the strongest teams in it, and then they proved it in game one. Game two, TPS with that comeback. I just still can't believe they did that. Those team fights were absolutely incredible.
Incredible indeed. All right, well, that's going to be doing it for the games today. I think we have an interview coming up with the winning team with TPS, hosted by the lovely Sherigan. So that's going to be coming right up. Okay, yeah, we gotta see if we can get a player up here in the interview stand. So, gonna go to a quick break, but hopefully we'll be right back with that interview.
Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live forever, forever. The afterlife. We gonna live forever, forever. The Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. Wanna be a part of something more than this. I've lost control of it. Oh, seeing the stars reminds me of you. Oh, oh, oh. You left me with scars, but I know that one day you'll see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. You see it through. We gonna live
A pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights. Tomorrow feels a year away, like the seconds, the beginning and the end. But if in time it's yesterday, your picture's gonna bring it home to me again. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights.
day. Eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time. Buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to
Hello, folks. I am Sharigan. I am one of the broadcasters. Hope y'all are having a wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening, and everyone is having a great time watching Titan Esports. I am brand spanking new to all of this, and obviously I seem to have scuffed the graphics a little bit here. We have Rubber Ducky, we have Glory, and Obongo joining us. How are you guys doing today?
We're not Rubby Ducky. We're
Oh,
Spire.
that is, yeah, Team Oh, you know what? I can't say that I had my biases showing. Obviously, with that first game, it seems. Just give me your thoughts. How did y'all transition out of that? Because that first game was a bit of a rough one.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you after watching that first game, to be honest. Yeah, no, it was pretty rough. I think our draft didn't really give us a ton of help. But ideally we just wanted to kind of do a lot of fighting early, but our champs didn't really play for that much, and they were pretty good around the objectives play. But as we kind of went on, I think the Hui pick especially was really helpful in terms of just getting like faster mid prio and just sort of like a little bit more utility from mid lane to be able to fight around those objectives. But I remember after the first game, we were all kind of just like, okay, we're literally just spectators. We're not doing anything at all, and we need to like actually play, just take fights and actually just fight them instead of just like watching and sitting back.
That second game was absolutely fire. Just started some of those team fights towards the end. Glory, was there any particular moment in that game where you're just like, okay, we've got to go in, got to start fighting now? That you were like, okay, this is my moment to hop in.
So, well, I don't recall the entire course of the game too.
Well, specifically game 3, you had some like that final fight whenever you got the massive ultimate with Misfortune. You know which part I'm talking? It was like the last 30 seconds of the game. You kind of looped around to the side. I think y'all were pushing
the Nico flanking behind us, I think, with Gwen in front.
Yeah, Nico coming in behind, trying to get that ult, and you just kind of sidestepped it just barely. I know, it was an exciting game. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I know. For me, at least in the second game, there was we had like I think a first. I can't remember if it was first dragon or like second dragon fight, but there was one fight where we were like really close to winning it, but we just kind of like we didn't have everybody there, and like everyone was just a little bit out of position. We were really indecisive in terms of like what side we actually wanted to fight. And I remember, I think third dragon onward, we really talked about like our positioning of like where we actually want to enter. I know we gave up a lot of like waves as well just to try to get positioning, because I felt like a lot of the time we were just late to objectives a lot. And even in that second game, that was kind of a bit of a problem too. So against team comps like how they're drafting, they want to be in position first. They want to be able to basically like play from Fog of War to actually kill us. So that's probably, just being able to sack waves and just move into position and actually get there was definitely a way that we were able to start turning around those fights as well.
Yeah, it definitely.
Hey, sorry, did I have a
We had a little
disconnection?
bit of a yeah.
Oh, you disconnected.
Yeah, a little bit of a loss there, Glory. Do you remember I was asking you about that last fight where the Nico flanked around behind you?
At the very end
At the very
of
end.
last game?
Game 3, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we spotted her in their jungle, and it's like we just kind of went in. She couldn't really follow up, and she tried to get on top of me, but I was just a little bit too far.
Yep, just a little bit too speedy on that Misfortune. I think you had almost a little over 500 movement speed base.
Oh, we were talking about that. Even after the Yomu's nerfs, like MF, Yomu's and Cloud Soul, not to mention. Just like you're so fast. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like just seeing you zipping around the map on there, it was absolutely hilarious. And speaking of tempo, was there anything that you noticed like in that game one where you're like, okay, so this was the thing that we needed to exploit versus Rubber Ducky?
I think we started to notice that they don't really draft for split push, and so come mid to late game, it's like we can afford to sack side waves because it didn't seem like they really knew how to pressure those. Their mid laner usually plays like the Nico and more range control magey types, and their top laner didn't like we banned out their Trundle, we banned out their split pushers, right? So they had no side lane pressure, and we knew that if we drafted a strong 5v5 comp, we could just take Barons, take Drakes, and they couldn't respond with towers at all. So that was one key thing that really helped us take the win.
Well, I definitely want to say that it was an absolutely fantastic series, and I think y'all were pretty awesome. And now I'm relatively new to Titan esports, so I'm still getting used to like all of the leagues. I'm learning who everybody is. Have y'all been in this league for very long?
This is our first time, I think, it's like our team for playing in one of the Titan leagues. But we do recognize a couple different orgs like Rubber Ducky. I know we've played against before. Dorado as well. We have our sister team Astral Spire that's also in here. So there's a couple teams that I think we recognize, at least from like the orgs and some of the players that we played against too. But yeah, this is our first split in Titan as well.
Who would you say is the better team between you and Astral?
Okay, you can take that one, Glory.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm actually pretty new to this team specifically. These guys have been together for I don't even know how long. But I joined within not even a month ago. So I'm new to Titan. I'm new to Spire. Had some previous amateur experience in the past, but that was like a year ago. But I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, I think we're better. And I'm really optimistic that we can take this series as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see where it goes. But I think after today's win, especially, my confidence has not dropped.
So what I'm hearing is that when you go up against Astral, it should be a 2-0 clean sweep for Primordial.
I think it's going to be a B1 Hui angle for either of the mids deviation.
Well, I think that's going to be an exciting game to watch either way. Having sister teams in a league is always really entertaining from what I've seen. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Titan is going to be showcasing going forward in this Vanquisher League. It's going to be really exciting. Like, I just think the teams have been absolutely fantastic. Y'all's performance this series was amazing. Seeing a comeback like that is always the most exciting thing you can possibly have in something like this. So I just want to say applaud to y'all. Like, fantastic performance. And before we close out the broadcast for tonight, is there anything you'd like to say? I'll throw it to you, Glory, first.
Yeah. I mean, just thanks my team, like really pulling it together. These guys, I've been playing with them for a few weeks, and I can already tell like there's a lot of potential here. And yeah, lots of strength. So look forward to us in our next couple matches. We'll be winning.
Primordial will be winning. All right, and then Obongo, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, like CK said, the four of us have been playing together as a team for a pretty long time, like probably a couple of years now at this point. So it's been really fun. Every time we get to join any kind of like comp league or anything like that, it's always been a blast to be able to play with all of them. So yeah, definitely looking forward to just how the rest of the season goes and playoffs and all that, hopefully.
All right, I know I'm excited to see the rest of the games. So like, I think it's going to be absolutely exciting. And I'm looking forward to, watching the rest of these series that are going to be playing out for Titan. Folks, I think that's going to be all we have for this evening. So thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate y'all being here. Thank you, Pro Comps, for the support as well. We will be go ahead and closing it out. So have a wonderful evening. Stick around because we will be doing a raid to another channel here momentarily.
Don't say goodbye. Don't make me cry. Fading again, but I won't give in to you. Don't say goodbye. Don't make me cry. Heard them say our best days pass us by, and most long for a place that they never find. I'm afraid I wake up when I die, and it is too late to climb any mountain. Time is of the essence, the blood running through our core. It's best to not feel sorry when it's over. I will be the greatest that you've ever seen before, and I'll stay eternal. 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 Sometimes I feel that my luck's run out. When things don't go to plan, I kinda lose my mind. I hope it's real, this life comes around. Just keep your faith and search for the fountain. Time is of the essence, the blood running through our core. It's best to not feel sorry when it's over. I will be the greatest that you ever seen.